Okay, imagine this for a second. You've got a monk, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's meditating, super deep, like total focus,
Mm-hmm.
and then bam, he gets hit by something. And not just anything, a force so huge, the text says it could, like, level a mountain.
Right. Just immense power.
You'd expect, well, nothing left, basically, but nope. He just gets a slight headache.
Just a slight headache. It's an incredible image, isn't it?
Totally. What kind of mental state is that?
Exactly. And that really sets the scene for our deep dive today. We're digging into the mind, its power, how it can cause us so much trouble, but also how it can be this amazing shield.
And the path to real peace, right?
That path to really profound, unshakable peace. We're looking at an ancient text, VAGGA IV.
VAGGA IV. And these aren't just like myths or legends.
No, not at all. They're presented as direct observations, actual teachings from the Buddha. So it's a pretty rare window into this ancient understanding of mental strength.
Wow. Okay, so what's our mission here? What are we trying to pull out of this?
Well, we want to find those, really potent bits of wisdom. We're looking for practical advice, stuff you can actually think about using for building a stronger, clearer mind.
And understanding the hurdles, too. Like, it's not always easy.
Definitely. Understanding the challenges, the unexpected stuff that comes up on the path to inner peace. Hopefully you'll have a few aha moments about what real mental toughness actually means.
The idea being that even when things outside are totally chaotic, you can navigate it if your internal compass is, well, working right.
Precisely. That's the goal.
All right, let's dive in. Where do we start?
Let's start with a story that I think is just incredibly relatable. It's about a monk named Meghiya.
Meghiya, okay.
He was actually an attendant to the Buddha, and he's trying really hard. He finds this spot, this beautiful mango grove. Sounds lovely, right? By the Kimakala River.
Sounds perfect for meditation. Peaceful, quiet.
That's exactly what he thought. He figured, this is it. The ideal place to really strive to get somewhere.
I sense a but coming.
You sense right, because despite finding this perfect spot, he almost immediately finds himself just swarmed by these unwholesome thoughts.
Oh no, like what?
The text names 3: sensual desire, ill will, and harmfulness. And he's genuinely baffled. He's thinking, why? I gave up worldly life. I'm in this serene place. Why is this stuff still popping up?
Man, that is so relatable. You try to set everything up perfectly, clear your desk, silence your phone, maybe light a candle.
Yeah, you create the zone.
Exactly. And your mind's just like, nope, time for random worries and distractions. So what's the big lesson from Meghiya's struggle then?
It points to something really crucial, something we often miss. Real inner peace isn't actually about having perfect external conditions. It's about training the mind so it can handle any condition.
Yeah.
And the Buddha's advice to Meghiya when he comes back all distressed, it's incredibly practical. He lays out 5 key conditions needed to sort of mature the mind towards freedom.
5 conditions. Okay, let's break them down. What's the first one?
First is good friendship. And this isn't just, hanging out with pals.
Right.
It's about having virtuous friends, people who genuinely support your inner development, who lift you up.
Makes sense. Surround yourself with good influences. What's number 2?
Number 2 is virtue. Basically, living ethically, following precepts, being really careful about even what seem like small mistakes or faults. It builds this stable base.
Like a solid foundation for your mental house.
Exactly. A quiet conscience helps quiet the mind. Third is appropriate conversation.
So not just idle gossip.
Definitely not. This means talking about things that actually lead you away from craving and suffering, things like contentment, seclusion, putting in effort, wisdom, liberation. These talks actively shape your mind.
Okay, so the conversations themselves are part of the practice. Interesting. Number 4.
Fourth is aroused energy. This isn't just a quick burst of motivation.
Okay.
It's sustained effort, consistently working to let go of the unhelpful mental states and cultivate the helpful ones. It's like showing up for your mental workout day in, day out.
Persistent inner work. Got it. And the last one, number 5.
Number 5 is wisdom, developing real insight into how things arise and pass away, seeing impermanence. This is the understanding that ultimately cuts through confusion and leads to the end of suffering.
Wow. Okay, so those 5, good friendship, virtue, appropriate conversation, aroused energy, and wisdom, they all work together.
They do. It shows that getting free isn't just about sitting on a cushion in a quiet place, though that helps. It's this whole life thing, needing support from outside and serious work on the inside.
But the Buddha didn't stop there with Meghiya, did he?
No, he added a few more specific tools, like mental medicine for specific issues Meghiya was having.
Ah, the antidotes.
Right.
So for passion or strong desire.
He advised contemplation of the unattractive.
That sounds a bit grim.
It can sound that way, but it's not about being negative. It's more about seeing things realistically beyond just the surface appeal, understanding the less glamorous aspects, the impermanent nature, which can actually reduce that clinging or attachment.
Okay, seeing the whole picture, not just the shiny part. What about for ill will?
The classic antidote. Loving kindness. Actively cultivating feelings of goodwill to counter the anger or resentment.
And for just general scattered thoughts, the mind buzzing all over?
Mindfulness of breathing. Simple, direct, just bringing the attention back to the breath as an anchor.
A classic for a reason. And the last one, something about I am.
Yeah, to uproot the sort of deep-seated conceit or idea of a fixed I am, he recommended perception of impermanence.
Yeah. So seeing that even our sense of self isn't this solid, unchanging thing, it's always in flux.
Exactly. If you really see that nothing is permanent, what is there to cling to as me or mine? It cuts right to the root of clinging.
So Meghiya's whole journey here is really a map, isn't it? From being totally agitated by these subtle thoughts.
To understanding them, seeing where they come from, and eventually letting them go completely. Becoming someone, as the text says, who gives up entirely the mind's agitations. From chaos to clarity.
That's a powerful roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, if you do this work, if you cultivate these conditions, build this inner strength, how does that actually hold up when, life happens? When the external world throws curveballs?
Right, that's the real test, isn't it? And the text gives us some stark examples here. It contrasts Meghiya's effort with another group of monks.
Oh, what were they like?
They're described pretty bluntly as unruly, arrogant, fickle, talkative, unmindful, unconcentrated, with wandering minds.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Sounds like a mess, or maybe just how we all feel sometimes on a bad day.
It can feel familiar, for sure, and the Buddha gives a serious warning about this state. He says that having an unguarded body and wrong views and being overcome by sloth and torpor, that laziness and mental dullness,
Yeah, what does it lead to?
it leads you right into the power of Mara. You can think of Mara as temptation, negativity, the forces that pull you down.
So a scattered, undisciplined mind makes you vulnerable?
Exactly. The advice is clear. Cultivate a guarded mind, have right intentions, develop right view. When we feel unruly or scattered ourselves, it's like leaving the door open to negativity.
That makes sense. And the text gives an example of how bad things can get internally.
A really tragic one, actually. There's a story about a herdsman. A simple guy, he offers a meal to the Buddha and the monks. Very kind gesture.
All right.
But shortly after, he's murdered. Just tragically killed by someone else.
Oh, wow. That's awful. The monks must have been really upset.
They were, understandably distressed by this terrible external event. But the Buddha's reaction, his commentary, it shifts the whole focus.
How so?
He doesn't focus on the killer or the tragedy itself, he says, and this is powerful. What an enemy can do to an enemy, or a hater to a hater, a wrongly directed mind can do much worse.
Whoa. So the worst harm isn't necessarily from outside? It can come from our own minds.
That's the chilling insight. We fear external enemies, but our own uncontrolled thoughts, our hatred, our negativity, they can inflict far deeper wounds on us.
That is profound. And really something to think about. Does it explore this idea further, like how to handle negativity coming at you?
It does, very directly, with the story known as the Sundari Affair. This one deals with facing public slander.
Sundari affair. Sounds like trouble.
Big trouble. Basically, you have these rival ascetics, other spiritual groups who are super jealous of the respect and support the Buddha and his followers are getting.
Uh-oh. Jealousy leading the way.
All right, so they cook up this nasty plot. They get a female wanderer, Sundari, to hang around the monastery a lot, making it look like something's going on.
Okay, setting the stage.
And then they murder her and bury her body right near the monastery grounds.
No, that's horrific.
It's truly dark. Then they discover the body, drag it through the streets, and start this massive public campaign yelling that the Buddha's monks are shameless, immoral liars, accusing them of killing her.
Oh my God. The poor monks. How did they react? They must have been devastated and angry.
They heard all this abuse, and yeah, the text says they were deeply affected. But here's where the Buddha's response is just remarkable.
What did he do? What did he tell them?
He stays completely calm. First, he predicts the whole uproar will only last 7 days. Just 7 days.
Wow, specific.
And he tells the monks not to fight back with angry words or denials. Instead, he gives them a specific verse to recite if people accuse them. The verse basically points out that people who lie face bad consequences themselves, that falsehood eventually comes back to bite you.
So don't engage in the mudslinging, just state a principle about truth and consequences. Is that the idea? Is it just letting people walk all over you?
It's not about being walked over. It's about maintaining what the text calls an uncorrupted mind. The Buddha knew that arguing back, getting defensive, would just feed the negativity, drag the monks down to that level.
So it preserves their own inner state.
Exactly. By responding calmly with a statement of truth and principle, they let the situation play out. And guess what?
It only lasted 7 days.
Precisely. The public mood shifted, people saw through the lies, and the rumors just died down exactly as he predicted.
That's incredible. So the lesson isn't just turn the other cheek. It's more strategic. Protect your inner peace first.
Yes. And the Buddha's final teaching on it really sums it up. People abuse with uncontrolled speech like an elephant gone into battle. A monk, having heard harsh words, endures them with an uncorrected mind. It's about that inner fortitude. You don't need to win the verbal fight if your mind is clear and steady.
Your inner state is the real battlefield.
That's a great way to put it. It's recognizing that the other person's uncontrolled speech often harms them more karmically, especially if you refuse to let it poison your own mind.
Okay, enduring harsh words with an uncorrupted mind. That's already a huge challenge. But the text goes even further, right, to like an almost unbelievable level of mental mastery.
Oh, absolutely. If you thought that was something, wait till you hear about Sariputta. This story represents the absolute peak, the pinnacle of this unshakable peace.
Sariputta, okay, another chief disciple.
Yes, one of the very top disciples. So Sariputta is meditating, just completely absorbed, deep in concentration.
Like the monk in the intro?
Very much like that. And these two powerful beings called Yakkhas, you can think of them as demons or powerful spirits they fly past.
Yakshas, okay.
And one Yaksha says to the other, "Hey, I'm going to smack that monk." And his friend warns him, "Don't. That's Sariputta. He's incredibly powerful spiritually. You'll regret it."
But first Yaksha doesn't listen.
Nope. Ignores the warning completely and delivers this massive blow. The text describes it again, a blow strong enough to knock over a huge elephant or even split a mountain peak.
Okay, that's the mountain leveling hit again.
Yep.
So what happened to Sariputta?
Well, another top disciple, Mahamoggallana, who had psychic vision and the divine eye, sees this happen. He freaks out and rushes over to Sariputta asking, "Are you okay? Are you all right?"
And Sariputta's response?
Completely calm. He just looks up and says, "I'm okay, friend. Just a slight headache."
A slight headache from a mountain-splitting blow. How is that even possible? What does that actually mean about his mind?
It's almost beyond our normal comprehension, isn't it? It illustrates this ultimate level of mental mastery. And the Buddha's comment on it sums it up perfectly. He says, "Whose mind is like a rock, firm and unmoving, dispassionate towards desirable things, not angered by hateful things. How can suffering come to such a developed mind?"
Wow, like a rock, untouched.
It fundamentally shifts our understanding of suffering. It suggests that when the mind is that developed, that detached from aversion and craving, even intense physical impact doesn't register as suffering in the way we experience it. The pain signal might be there, but the mental reaction, the suffering part, is absent.
So the pain is just data, not an overwhelming experience.
Something like that. And the text keeps coming back to Sariputta, mentioning him reflecting on his own state, having few wishes, contented, secluded, unentangled, aroused energy dedicated to higher mind. That's the result, the fruit of all that practice we talked about earlier. Freedom from sorrow, freedom from Mara's influence.
That is truly aspirational. That level of calm seems connected to another theme too, right? The importance of solitude.
Yes, absolutely. There's a really lovely story that illustrates this, drawing a parallel between the Buddha himself and an elephant.
An elephant. Okay, tell me more.
So the Buddha is finding himself constantly surrounded. Monks, lay followers, kings, queens, everyone wants his time and attention. It gets overwhelming.
Sounds like modern life sometimes.
Doesn't it? So he desires some quiet, some solitude, and he just quietly slips away into the forest.
Okay, and the elephant.
Well, in a parallel situation, there's this magnificent, powerful bull elephant. But he's also overwhelmed by his herd. He's having to eat grass they've trampled, drink muddy water stirred up by the others, constantly getting jostled.
The social pressures of elephant life.
Pretty much. So he also decides, enough of this, and wanders off seeking peace and quiet in the forest.
And they end up in the same place.
They do. Both the Buddha and the elephant find the solitude they crave in the same part of the forest. And there's this beautiful detail where the elephant actually starts looking after the Buddha, clearing the ground around him with his trunk, bringing him water.
Oh, that's amazing. Like they recognized a shared need.
Exactly. And both of them reflect on how wonderful it feels to be uncrowded. The Buddha even makes the direct connection, saying, "This mind of the elephant agrees with the mind of the Buddha who delights alone in the forest."
Wow. So that need for quiet, for space away from the herd, it's not just a human thing, it's deeper.
It seems to be presented as a fundamental principle for well-being. It really makes you think about our own lives, constantly crowded by emails, notifications, social media, endless obligations.
Yeah, that digital herd can be just as jostling. Maybe we all need a bit more elephant time in the forest.
It certainly suggests that seeking out moments of genuine quiet and solitude isn't selfish or lazy. It's actually restorative and necessary.
The text also shows this ideal in action, right? Like a living example.
Yes, through a monk named Piṇḍolabhāradvāja, the Buddha observes him and basically points him out as embodying the ideal monastic life.
What was he doing?
Living simply in the forest, getting food through alms rounds, wearing basic robes made from discarded cloth, having few desires, being content, secluded, energetic, and really focused on developing his mind, that higher consciousness.
So really living the principles.
Exactly. And his lifestyle is summed up as no blaming, no harming, restraint, moderation in food, dwelling in a secluded lodging, and dedication to the higher mind. This, the text says, is the teaching of the Buddhas. Not just words, but this lived practice.
A practical path embodied. And finally, we see the ultimate outcome of all this, the end result.
We do in the reflections of another monk, Upasena. He's looking back on his life and just feeling this profound sense of gratitude and accomplishment.
What's he grateful for?
Having the Buddha as his teacher, having access to this amazing teaching, having virtuous companions, and achieving his own liberation, perfect virtue, concentration, wisdom, he declares full of joy, "My life is good and my death will also be good."
Wow. To be able to say that about life and death, that's peace.
It truly is. And the Buddha confirms his state. He says Upasena leads a life that does not burn with defilements, with mental poisons, and he won't sorrow at death because his craving for existence is totally cut off. His mind is tranquil.
No more rebirth, no more becoming,
Right.
just peace.
The cycle of rebirth is exhausted. There is no further becoming for him. That's the ultimate peace described in these teachings, a mind completely free.
So after traveling through all these ancient stories and teachings, what's the big takeaway for us living today?
Well, we've seen this whole arc, haven't we? From a Meghiya struggling with his thoughts, even in a peaceful place.
Right, showing peace is an inside job.
Exactly. To the practical steps, the 5 conditions, the antidotes for actually cultivating that inner peace. Then seeing how that cultivated mind handles real adversity, like slander or even violence.
Like Sariputta's slight headache. That incredible resilience.
It's that resilience and also that universal need for quiet, for solitude that we saw with the Buddha and the elephant. It's this rich picture of human and maybe more than human spiritual potential.
The core message seems really clear then. True peace, real freedom, it doesn't depend on getting the external world perfect.
Not at all. It depends on actively, patiently cultivating our own inner world. Using these ancient tools, mindfulness, virtue, wisdom, kindness, effort, seeking good company and quiet when needed.
It's all about that internal compass.
It really is.
So here's the final thought to leave you with. In our world, which is just full of noise, demands, distractions, how can these ancient insights actually inspire your approach to finding inner peace? What unruly guests in your own mind, or maybe what external noise in your life could you start to approach differently, using some of these principles we've explored today?